Oh, that's right. She did tell me
Okay.
she's saying
There we go.
she told me. Yeah.
Good evening. Today is Monday, August 2nd, 2021, regular session of the Board of School Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:05 p.m. The place is School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street in East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. And is also being shown via live stream at www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Can you please have roll call? Ms. Bigum.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Present.
trustee Gomez,
Present.
trustee Williams,
Present.
trustee Smith,
Present.
chairman Hernandez on.
Present. May we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Next, we'll move to the business portion of the meeting. The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
I don't have a question, just rather a comment that I know we're still delinquent in some of the approval of prior board minutes. I know this is not a high priority right now as we begin the school year, but before the end of the year, I'd like to see that we're all caught up with any delinquent minutes. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Ms. Diane, Ms. Bigum, roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 2, approval of distribution of payroll. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee
Second.
Rodriguez makes the motion for approval. Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 3, approval of claim dockets. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 4, approval of personnel report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? And
I'm sorry, just one
Trustee
question.
Gomez.
Thank you. Just want to make sure our certifications are, that we had requested are current, particularly for item 2444. I guess that'd be a question to superintendent or HR.
No, he's asking for the recommendation for the head mechanic that has the certifications that was asked.
Is it confirmed is what I'm asking? Is it confirmed? Have you? I'm not asking about the job description, I'm asking about the actual certification, yes. Thank you.
Are there any questions? I did have a question, and I apologize for the late notice of the question. But as I was going through it literally an hour ago again, we had a discussion in regards to 2 assistant principals in our executive session. It was because of our salary schedule. There was supposed to be an item that was supposed to be given at a certain amount, but yet on the recommendation, it was a totally different amount again. And I don't know
The recommendation, so would ask that for the two assistant principal candidates, on the recommendation presented, it's below the starting salary schedule. So can this be amended to have those two assistant principals begin at 72,000?
So I don't know if we could amend the item, and this is trustee Rodriguez, to make sure that the assistant principals start at the 72,
With the two elementary
the
assistant
two
principals?
elementary, so that we could be on the salary schedule. And mind you, I know we're discussing the salary schedule again, but if we have already approved the salary schedule, it should have never been that those individuals are offered something different of what was on the salary schedule. So, trustee Rodriguez, can you amend the motion, please?
Okay, so you want me to amend the motion to, for which items?
So it would be, for the personnel report to have the two assistant principals that we have on the agenda to have their starting salary be the starting salary on our salary ordinance that we have, or, sorry,
Which is the base at 72,000.
correct.
So I'll make that motion to amend.
Okay, Ms. Bigum, do you understand what we're saying? So it's gonna be, the personnel report will be amended so that it can reflect that the two assistant principals start at the 72,000, which is the base of the assistant principals from our salary schedule.
I'll second.
Okay, so the other question, and not that it's a question, but I just want to make sure, the item number 2427
What page?
on page 1,
Okay.
that was posted internally,
Which item?
and that is that 2427.
Mr. Doctor?
It's actually
Madam President,
trustee Williams.
this individual also was a part-time employee at one point in time, so I really believe that this has gone from a part-time position to a full-time position, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I know,
Yeah. Okay.
okay?
No, I'm okay with that. I just wanted to know, I just don't want it to be that we have positions that are
Right.
brand new and we
Gotcha.
use those words of sliding in. That's not how we want to do things. So those were my questions and concerns. What is the pleasure of the board? I'm sorry. So we've already, any other questions from anyone else? And Ms. Big, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes?
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes,
trustee Smith. Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 5, approval of updated administrative salary schedule.
Madam President, I'd like to move to table this item.
There's a motion to table the item.
I second that motion.
Trustee Gomez makes the motion and trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes,
trustee Smith. Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 6, approval of updated administrator contracts for the 2021 and 2022 school year. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move that we table this item as well.
Trustee Gomez moves to table this item.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes?
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
yes,
trustee Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 7, approval of MOU agreements with Infinity Counseling and Wellness LLC.
Madam President, I have a motion to approve.
I'm sorry. Dr. Disney, would you like to?
We'd ask for recommendation to approve these MOU agreements.
Go ahead.
Madam
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I have Attorney Harris, did you read through the contract?
Yes, I have reviewed them.
I know on the contract, it references the school city of East Chicago as East Chicago School District. I just want to make sure it's okay because it's not our formal name.
It is, even though it's not the formal name, it's still doing business as, commonly known as. It's okay.
Any other questions? Ms.
Trustee
Bigham?
Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 8, approval of Linda Randolph contract. Dr. Disney.
Would recommend that the board approve the contract for professional services of Mrs. Linda Randolph, and this coincides with her contract from previous year.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I'd just like to ask our attorney here, so this contract is directly with the individual, not the firm that she's a part of, is that correct?
That's correct. This is what the individual, this contract I drafted. But yes, this is what hers individually.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Just that the contract, it says, entered in on the effective August 2021. Do we have to put a date on it? We will after we approve.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Ms. Bigham?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 9, approval of inter-district student transportation driver position job description. Dr. Disney.
Refer to Mr. Doctor. You want to explain the change of this posting?
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just curious, I'm sorry, I do see the salary in here is 15 an hour. That's comparable to other school districts? Okay, thank you.
So I feel just that there needs to be just a clarification in the fact that when this position was presented to us, it's not that it's an actual position for an individual. So employees are already there are bus drivers. Okay, so. And this is what we are offering to our employees first. We're not going to hire outside. Okay. I just want to make sure that we clarify that because we're not trying to give another position yet. We're doing what's in our district. And is there going to be something so that, let's say I want to drive the McKinney-Vento or this bus and so does Ms. Smith. Are we going to have, is it seniority based? Are we putting? So then there'll be documentation saying exactly how it should be. Because I know for the athletic department, the athletic bus runs, we don't have that. And we've discussed it a couple of times. So just would like to see for the athletic and for these buses, because that's an opportunity for people to make extra money. But we have to make sure that we have it written out how it's actually done. Any other questions? Ms. Brigham?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 10, approval of bilingual family outreach coordinator position, Dr. Disney.
Yes, this was, the job descriptions of this was created to go along with the ESSER 2 and 3 funding that funds these positions, so would ask the board to approve these, this job description as presented.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 11, approval of educational diagnostician position, job description. Dr. Disney.
We would ask the board to approve the educational diagnostician. This is a means we can't, in districts can't fill the school psychologist because there aren't those positions, so we're able to fill one of those positions with this position description as presented, and this is recommendation from us all.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
thank you. Just a question, is this a bargaining unit position? Okay. Thank you.
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez?
In areas like primary function, I noticed that second line is kind of wiped out. Was that just sort of, is that the paper, the way it came out, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I believe we have these in hard copy too when she presented to us at the exec session.
Any other questions? Ms. Brigham?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 12, approval of transition coordinator position, job description. Dr. Disney.
And again, the transition coordinator has a recommendation of approving this description from municipal special education.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
thank you. Same question, bargaining unit? No, thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item 13, approval of summer student internships.
Madam President, I'm not sure if she said my name because I haven't given my approval.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Trustee Gomez,
Rodriguez, yes. Yes. Thank you.
Next, we'll move to item number 13, approval of summer student internships. Dr. Disney.
Ms. Finley?
This is the summer internship program, and we have a couple of students who are specifically working with our academic department over the summer. This actually helps our students cover their work-based learning opportunities that they need to fulfill their graduation requirements. They started, to transparency, they started on July 6th, and they have been working in IT, and we'll work through August the 3rd with Mr. Acevedo.
Thank you.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second?
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
just curious, I think I mentioned earlier this year about sensitivity about our, the security of our IT department and Mr. Ontiveros, what is the scope of this work that they're doing and how far into our security system will they be?
They're not anywhere near where there's sensitive material. It's all labor work and, moving the panels from one building to another, classroom to classroom. More labor-ish than anything else.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President.
Trustee Williams?
Dr. Finley, you said from July 26th, I see that start, but it has through August 5th on our sheet. Did the date change to the 13th? Okay,
There's a total of 3 weeks.
okay. So that's the extra week,
Yeah,
the 13th.
yes, I think it was a delayed start. I don't think it was presented to you all in a timely manner.
Okay.
We're just going back to make sure that the students get those 3 weeks in for work based learning, and they have an opportunity to earn some extra income before school starts.
And we also retro paying them back to July 26th for when they started.
That is correct.
Okay, from the day of approval. Thank you.
So then, I'm sorry, you said that it's to the 13th? So then the motion for this approval would actually be
Retroactive.
for payment from July 26th through August 13th.
That is correct.
So I just want to make sure, Trustee Gomez, you're okay with that?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
So if we can make sure that that reflects correctly.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 14, approval of bringing speech services closer to you, Inc. contract. Dr. Disney.
Yes, we would recommend the approval for this contract for Elise Smith, perform these services with bringing speech services closer to you.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Education.
I'm sorry. What is the,
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
has this service been provided to the district prior? Did you happen to know the payment for the previous year? Reason I'm asking, I just noticed 3D on page 4. The not to exceed amount seems pretty significant. I appreciate that. I just now looking at, there's a name attached to 3D, Attorney Harrison. I'm not sure if you can address that.
Yes, this agreement isn't intended for 3 different people. This is for one individual's name that's listed. I don't know what they got paid last year, but it is for an individual.
Yeah. So,
We just approved a number of these at the last board meeting.
That's right.
so Trustee Gomez, just from knowledge of the speech and personal knowledge also regarding these bringing speech services, first off and foremost, it's depending on how many special education students are actually using the service. So if they have the hours, you put a amount to not exceed because we're not sure how many hours are actually per student. Also, it depends on, previously, I think it used to be all three of those put together on one contract. Now we just have it separated. But I do know that this is a contractual service because we don't have an in-person speech person. It's all contracted. And I think our special ed director made mention to that at one of our executive sessions. Most of the psychology and the speech as well as vision are all contracted out. Same thing with OT. So just giving you the heads up or a little bit of that background. Any other questions?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
No.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 15, approval of the return to learn recommendation for the 2021-22 school year. Dr. Disney?
Would ask the board to approve the plan, and we have a PowerPoint to review this board, so I'd ask my motion to approve. Or how do you?
If we kind of give the presentation first, and then from there we'll make the approval.
Okay, so to begin and would like to say thank you to all the cabinet, to Dr. Finley and Nurse Bobo, the Chicago Health Department, everybody that's been involved in getting this 21-22 school year plan ready. So we will begin the school year requiring masks where the low vaccination rate is and the current Delta virus. We will begin wearing masks in school, and we'll evaluate as we finish that first quarter. But so students will be required and staff to wear masks in the building, and will be anytime that there's not 3 feet of social distancing within the classroom, would have that option to bring down if facing forward and you're meeting those that 3 feet requirement. Masks will not be required for outdoor activities and recess if you can socially distance. Masks must be worn on the school buses as per federal mandate. And again, social distancing of 3 feet is recommended in all areas of the building. Frequent cleaning of surfaces, tables, doors, restrooms, etc. Seating charts will be maintained in all classrooms, and to be able to monitor the close contacts, and dividers will be available if needed to create barriers in classrooms. Next slide. We want to again promote. We need the community to work with us. We need people that get vaccinated, but we need to also promote good hygiene, washing hands, soap and water, taking time with that. This has to be a part of our daily activity, getting our students ready for that. Hand sanitizers will be available at all buildings, and water, to begin the school year, the water fountains will be shut down. We have replaced some water filling stations at Kerry Gosh. The facilities is working on, this has been included in our ESSER 3 plan of getting some of the filling stations added in other locations in the building. We would encourage elementary students to bring water, but water will be provided in the morning and in the lunchtime for all students. Ms. Simmons, you want to comment on the purchasing of water?
We're doing basically what we've been doing since last March, is we're going to provide the water
to the elementaries in the morning and afternoon. Also, for the high school and the middle school, they'll get the bigger bottles of water. So we'll continue to do it until we get our water fountains put to a point that they're not touching all the time. And after that, we will discuss how we're gonna do water bottles.
Extracurricular events, again, social distancing, 3 feet is recommended. We're going to follow a tier situation in the summary. We can really talk about the extracurricular events. We are working in coordination with the East Chicago City Ordinance. Field trips, these will be limited and based on where the level of COVID spread in the community. We'll be looking and assessing and making trips available on an as-need basis. Volunteers will be allowed in the building, but they must wear a mask at all times and practice social distancing. Visitors who enter the building must have a mask on when in the building. Contact tracing, those that have experienced symptoms should get tested, may return after 14 days of quarantine, and are symptom-free without medications. Again, that's for non-vaccinated. Going on to the next. Miscellaneous information, diagnostic testing, screening, testing per federal and state guidelines. Testing and vaccines are widely available. Local pharmacies, healthcare providers. We'll be, again, coordinating with the state, with the local health department. Mitigation measures, lessons learned, again, proving effective strategies to help mitigate. Please don't send students and staff to school when sick. Masks are required. Maintaining social distancing at 3 feet. Washing hands often. We're updating the signage throughout the corporation. Work to get the arrows on the halls so that we're getting the flow. We've got to work together, proactive. Hopefully we continue to do this and we see the numbers start to decrease and we can assess it as we move forward after the beginning of school. Next. Arrival to school, bring fully charged device and other instructional materials, face coverings required, use designated arrival entrances, maintain, again, 3 feet of distance from others when possible. Our first day of school will be on Monday, August 16th, 2021. This last slide in, so this will be available on the webpage as well as a detailed plan. What we put together is just an overview, but this coordinates with the 4 colors that were expanded upon. Blue, everything's moving along great. Yellow, moderate community spread. We'll be starting in that yellow area. And so when we were talking about events, extracurricular events hosted with precautions, COVID-19 safety protocols, including limitation of number of spectators established in accordance with the local ordinance and pursuant to other guidelines published by local and state health departments. The orange would move if spread starts to become moderately or to high community spread, and then a red would be, again, establishing, making some decisions, really locking things down. And so we'll begin the school year in the yellow. We're hoping as we move along, we get control of this virus, but again, it's a community effort on how we control. And we want to, again, promote vaccinations, monitoring, self-monitoring at home, and good hygiene when in school. And there'll be times when you won't have that social distancing within the hallways and things, and masks have to be on. So that's a overview. Dr. Finley, anything you want to add?
No, thank you. You did a great job summarizing all of that. So it was a fun 2 weeks getting this together because our students have to get back in school and they need to know what the plan is. So thank you.
So we will move forward with item 15 of the approval of the return to learn recommendation for the 2021-22 school year. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bingham?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 16, approval of teacher staff handbook 2021-22 school year. Director Disney.
Yes, I'd ask the board to table this at the last meeting until I had a chance to sit down and meet with the Teachers Association. I want to say thank you to Helen for coming in. We looked at a couple areas, have an agreement, and want to get this passed so that we can get it printed up and distributed, and we'll distribute this electronically and available on our webpage for teachers and staff.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just on page 3, Dr. Disney, you'll be updating the staff contacts then,
On
page 3. It lists all the principals, and some of them are assistant principals have just been approved, so if you could,
yes, and just, we'll be able to make edits as we go on and bring other staff on. Yes, yes.
Good.
This will be continuously updated as needed.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I would just recommend, just based upon that comment, if we could include in the footer, like the date last modified, and that way, if there's ever any confusion, you'll know when you log on, okay, this is the current version as of this date.
Any other questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 17, approval of SCEC 2021-22 school year calendar update. Dr. Disney.
So this is the amended calendar, making sure it reflects our plan. One of the things that was added was an e-learning instructional day for May 3rd, which is Election Day 2022. Dr. Finley, anything that you want to?
Yes, just to add as well, there were 2 other items that were on your original calendar. One was district faculty meeting days, so we removed those, and those will only be late start Wednesdays every Wednesday. And the last one related to, late start Wednesdays was not noted on the calendar, so we noted that on the calendar as well now. Those are the 3 updates for the calendar.
Are there any, what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Smith seconds the
Second.
motion. Are there any questions? And we probably want to do the same thing with the date edited, just for the calendar too, since this is the second update. Let's take a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Approval, item number 18, approval of curriculum software recommendation, Dr. Disney.
Would like to refer to Dr. Finley.
This is an approval of 4 software programs for our students that they need in order to for our teachers to properly instruct our students when they need to virtually. One of them is Newsella, which most of our staff are familiar with. The other one is Nearpod. The last one is Cami. So some of our teachers in the district at the elementary level are using these programs, and we're making them district-wide for everyone to have access to. The last one is Zoom, and the ones I just mentioned are all 3-year, and Zoom is a 1-year subscription for our staff to be able to work with students as well as staff and interact virtually when needed. That is throughout the district. Zoom will be throughout the district, Cami, Nearpod, and Newsela. And Newsela, the way that it's going to go this year, just so you, the teachers are also aware, is there's an SEL component on top of the science, social studies, and the English language arts.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve?
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes?
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 19, approval of recommendation for repairs to the chilled water line at Kerry Gash Pre-K Learning Center. Dr. Disney?
Would recommend that the board approve Arctic Engineering to furnish and provide labor and material costs to remove and dispose the existing damaged insulation and provide and install the new water lines and necessary steps at Kerry Gosh.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve?
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
I know the item on the agenda reads, Kerry Gosh Pre-K Learning Center. The document doesn't have that. I'm not sure if that's an issue or not, but it says at the above mentioned site, and there's no site listed there. If we could identify that in the actual contract or whatever, or the memo.
It has it in the subject line of
On
Kerry
page
Gash.
one, the last line of the first paragraph says at the above mentioned site, and it's blank after that.
I think she's referring to the next page.
Yeah, I see it in there. Yeah.
Or you're saying to have it changed in the memo?
I just,
Make reference?
yeah, if we could make reference to it, that'd be great. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 20, approval of CHS football field usage. Dr. Disney?
Would it, for the legal on this? Okay, all right, well, then, all right, requesting board approval for Gary Bowman to use the East Chicago football field for 2 games on the following dates, September 4th. Oh, so this is, all right, so this is from A. Brown to request Gary Bowman to use the East Chicago football field for 2 games on dates September 4th and September 17th. They will have to pay for maintenance and security. They will also have to bring their own workers to cover the ticket booth. East Chicago Central will handle the concessions and keep the proceeds.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Attorney Harris, would they need a liability or anything?
Yes, so I know there wasn't a whole lot of overview of this on the front end, but when we've had events like this or requests like this, I'll send reminder correspondence, like a follow-up correspondence to them, reiterating all the things that are required by the district. We did that with an event within the last month or so. So maybe that would be appropriate for this. I don't do it with all of them, but sometimes when there's some ambiguity, I'll make sure I send out a follow-up correspondence reminding them they need to do X, Y, and Z in order to comply with the approval of their request for usage. So if you'd like, I can do that. Okay.
Just the COVID protocols that we have for the school district.
Yeah, and I know they mentioned here in their request that they'll make sure they clean up, but we don't necessarily address what'll happen if they don't clean up, and that's, we clean it up and then we charge them for it, so I can include that in that correspondence. And if there's any other concerns, just let me know and I'll make sure I include that in there too.
My just concern is that we just need to work on, and I know we've discussed this a couple of times, when we have facility usage, we need to have that document actually together so that we could have it sustained for every event. We've talked about it, we've kind of just left it just when we pick it back up, discussing.
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
one of those dates is a Saturday, the other one's a Friday. I'm not sure if the Saturday is going to mean anything on our end, but relative to the maintenance, I guess my question would also be Attorney Harris, maybe you can help here. Does maintenance include the utilization of the lights?
You want to make sure that it is or is not included? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking, and I guess security, does that mean that?
So it doesn't look like the request gives a time for the event. So I think that would probably give us the answer to the question about whether the lights are necessary or not. But I'll make sure to address that in the correspondence, so including security.
Trustee Gomez, I know from experience when we used to have other individuals use our field, no, we did not. That's why I said we have to work on that document, so we could say, this includes X, Y, and Z, yes. But I do know that, for the field usage, sometimes it's, beneficial for us to receive the concession stand money, rather than the actual money it is to use the field, the whatever it is, the charge, because you would receive more from the concession stand. And I think Trustee Williams probably will know about this also from.
You're exactly right. True. My concern is that we're using this school coming from Gary, that we're hiring East Chicago policemen as security as well.
Yeah, there's East Chicago. So it's just going to be like a regular.
It's like it's a home game for
right.
us, but okay, they're just going to pay the bill for.
They pay the bill, so they'll do whatever we require for regular football games of the security that we have for games, as well as the police security.
Right.
Any other questions?
Just to be clear, in terms of certificate of liability, is that part of the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
Any other questions? Can you stay on roll call, please?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
chairman Hernandez.
Yes. Item number 21, approval of donation of backpacks and supplies to SCEC. Dr. Disney?
Would ask the board to accept this donation of backpacks from the East Chicago Firefighters Union Local 365. They're made a donation of 508 backpacks and supplies to be distributed for students attending School City of East Chicago.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
the item is specific to students attending the School City of East Chicago. How will those be distributed, Dr. Disney, do you know?
So we have quite a few backpacks as well as backpacks that we purchased. So we look and send them.
They will be given out when the students return back into the building.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Any other questions? I just think maybe we could make an announcement prior to, because I know parents that right now are, you have to go on and that registration.
going on the website right after the registration comes off.
Perfect. Are there any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes?
trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number 22, approval of donations to Washington Elementary School. Dr. Disney.
Would ask board to accept the approval. This is from Andrea Hogan from Citgo regarding IRET Read 3 prep and field day, and be here to get there with the $2,500 donation.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
as in the past, I've asked that these donations as they come through, I'm not sure what this is for. I see it's identified for these programs, but how does it get delivered down to the teachers or students?
Particularly on this one that we're referring to, she uses it for her field day mostly. She's been, I do believe, getting this for the last at least 5 or 6 years. She used most of the funds to purchase the activities she did for her field days.
Okay.
So I think just what Trustee Gomez is just trying to get at when it comes to donations is whatever is we're approving it for, whatever it's supposed to be directly used for. If we could just have that, we use $500 for the jump house and we use $200 for food. I think that's where he wants to get to so that he could see where this $2,500 donation actually went to. Not that we want to dictate where that money is actually, how it's spent. It's just he would like to see afterwards, and maybe we can just get an email, an Excel of where it went. Would that solidify your request?
Yes, thank you.
So she can do detail after she takes it out of her ECA accounts of all the receipts that she takes out for the $2,500.
I think that'd be
Thank
good.
you. Yep.
And not just her, but anyone, so that we can just have a continuous process moving forward. Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes?
trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Next, we'll move to superintendent's remarks. Dr. Disney.
Just last Monday, July 26th, was the return of all the administrators and building principals. We had cabinet meetings as well as principal training on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week. And for registration, our first day of registration was today in the buildings from 9 to 1. Tomorrow, August 3rd, we'll be in the buildings, in the host buildings from 1 to 5 p.m. On Wednesday, August 4th, it will be a district-wide at Central High School from 9 to 6 p.m. and want to again emphasize, and it's been out, that vaccines will be available to community members and students that are 12 and above at Central High School on that date. Teachers and staff return next Monday, August 9th. We will begin with a district-wide professional development session in which the district has arranged for a school improvement motivational speaker, Dr. Muhammad, and Dr. Finley, regarding August 13th.
On August the 13th, we will have a transition day for our students. We realize and recognize as leaders that some of our students haven't even been in the building yet, so we need to help them with this transition. On August the 13th, in the morning, we will have transportation provided to the following students for this transition day. Pre-K, Pre-K to kindergarten students will not have transportation. We are hoping that the parents will be able to come visit the schools with their students on those days, because that transition to kindergarten can be a little traumatic for our little people. We want to help with the handoff in that process. So we will have a transition day for our kindergartens on August the 13th. That'll be first thing in the morning, I believe around 8 o'clock. This will be on the websites as well for each school. We will have a transition day for 7th and 8th graders. If you think about our 8th graders, they have not been in school at all. So we need to introduce them to Black Middle School. So on that same day, August the 13th, we will have 7th and 8th graders. Black has put their schedule on the website as well. And then we will have a transition day for our incoming 9th graders as well on August the 13th. It's about a couple of hours. The 7th and 8th graders as well as 9th graders will all receive transportation. After each student and the groups finish, there will be a snack after they finish their transition. Thank you.
Next, we'll move to our trustee remarks. Are there any trustee remarks?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I just want to thank Dr. Finley and Dr. Disney for a great job that they've been doing for the last few weeks. I know they've had to cover a lot of ground, and we have more to cover, but so far I'm very pleased with the work product that they've delivered. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also wanted to piggyback with that and say thank you, not only to them, but for all of the administrators that are going literally above and beyond to make sure students and staff are in school safely. It's a difficult time that we're still navigating through, and I just ask that during these times we all just continue to have patience, and that we continue to work together as a team. And we do this all for students. Again, we're at a time where we're able to make some changes for children in the best way possible. So let's get this done for them. Next, we'll move to public forum.
You guys have it? If you do, please step up to the podium, state your name, your address. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. If you could, please be respectful to the rest of the audience, to the staff, and to the board members. Thank you.
First will be Sarah Ferrero.
So my name is Sarah Ferraro, Ferraro. My address is actually in Crown Point. It's 13858 Jennings Lane in Crown Point. Can you hear me? Okay. So good evening, board president, members, Superintendent Dr. Disney and Dr. Finley. My name is Sarah Ferraro. I am the founder of a civic engagement program that's housed within the Legacy Foundation. So we're going to tell you about our initiative that we've been working on in your city tonight. We are 100% nonpartisan. For the past 3 years, we've worked on projects to educate voters, get out the vote, engage citizens in doing things beyond voting, working with groups like the League of Women Voters and elected officials and county boards. So something neat about me, not only am I from Crown Point, but I'm a former public school teacher. So this is near and dear to my heart. And I'm so excited to hear your plan and everything that you're doing for the re-entry to this school year. So my friend Elizabeth is going to speak too, but we're going to tell you about some things that RISE has been doing in East Chicago to hopefully increase and educate people about the COVID-19 vaccine. And we're doing this work across Lake County. We're funded through the Legacy Foundation, which they do a lot of work here and in North Lake County. But we've begun door-to-door canvassing. We've also done a lot of tabling at other events. We've partnered with HealthLink and reached out to the health department here and to work with our lowest vaccinated areas. So our goal is to have a positive outreach and interactions to help raise the vaccination rates in East Chicago and across the county. And I know I only have limited time, so there's lots of stats, so if you'd like to ask me about that, I'm sure you've all been studying this too. But our work is in partnership and resource sharing with a national campaign called the We Can Do This campaign and the national civic organization called Made to Save. So we get a lot of awesome resources from them. I was just on a call at 4:30 and they're doing their huge back to school push. So if you would like anything that we have now picked up from them, that's kind of what we're here today to offer, to talk to you about. So it's really exciting because national grassroots organizations, I mean, we're kind of small. I don't get paid to do this. We're 95% run by volunteers. We have one person at Legacy Foundation that helps manage the back end of what I do. So a lot of volunteers. Elizabeth lives in the community and she'll speak about what she's been doing. But it's important to have as many people vaccinated as we can to protect from death, hospitalization, and others around us that are too young to get vaccinated or maybe can't, take the vaccine. So we're inviting you to join us in these efforts. If you personally, as board members, would like to come canvass with us or learn about what we're doing.
Sarah, that's your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have other resources if you'd like handouts too.
Up next will be Elizabeth.
Good afternoon or evening, board. Thank you for having us. And my name is Elizabeth Palacio. I live here in Chicago, Indiana. I've been here for the last 9 years. I have a lot of roots here, and so I'm back in the area for the last 9 years. I've started working with RISE because they do a lot of good grassroots initiatives as far as civic engagement, teaching how to run for office, registering children to vote or young adults to vote, and a bunch of other things, as well as getting the word out in our community about what we're doing. And that this COVID epidemic has really got a lot of us. I don't want to see another friend of mine or another family member pass away. We've got to tell the adults of the children to please get vaccinated. They can also be carriers if they're not vaccinated, and their children can bring sickness home to them. We also have worked with the city council. We've been, I walk with Stacy Winfield in her area. I walk with Jim Harper. He doesn't live here, but he walked with me. I work with Miss Guzman. She's walked in our area. I'm looking for Mr. Hill. Well, I called Mr. Hill. I called all the council members, and I like to walk in their districts with them. So please give us a call. We're doing fabulous work, and we'd like to hear from all of you to get our information out to the parents and the students of the city. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
We have also handouts. I've been putting them in the stores and handing them in on people's. I've hit over close to 500 doors myself already. And I need to, like I said, I don't want to see another family member or, friend die. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Madam President, that's all. That's it.
The next meeting date, public meeting, is going to be for August the 18th here at the Administration Building, and that's at 6:00 p.m. Can I have a motion for adjournment, please?
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for adjournment. Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez? Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes.